Alright everybody, I'm going to be talking about a piece of software called the Open Broadcaster software. It's created by a gentleman named Jim. Seemed to have spent a lot of quality time creating this, and is very helpful and supportive in the forum, along with a bunch of other users in the forum. What this piece of software is meant for is to live stream your gameplay to the internets. So there's a bunch of different services supported built in. You can do a custom, and there's some talk on the forums about different custom settings and creating your own RTMP server. It also can do gameplay recording with some tweaks to some of the settings. You can get a pretty good quality. I'll kind of show you some footage as I've experimented with this piece of software today. I really like the results. I have a Hogpog DVR recorder as well, and that records some really good footage. I'd have to say, once you tweak the settings out a little bit, it's probably very on par with the quality that you get out of that recorder. I haven't gone into extreme detail. I'm not going to go into extreme detail on the back end and the codecs and everything. If you want more info, you can start digging around in their forums and do some research online as well. It's basically using H.264 and creating MP4 files. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so what you see here is the actual software running. You might get the holo mirrors going on as I move around. I'm using the 64-bit version currently of the OBS software, pardon me. I've set up various different scenes, which you can do. The various different scenes or the various different desktops, like that's the web page I started on. This is over here with the screen that the app's on. I have 3 monitors, and I've set up one for each of the monitors. You can see me editing over there on that first screen. And then you can add your sources into each of the different scenes that you have on the left. So like in this one I have monitor capture. If I go to monitor 2, I had the camera and the monitor capture. And then I have one set up for the gameplay footage that I'll be showing you in a little bit. I've mainly gone through the current Neverwinter beta. Did a little PlanetSide. Did some Borderlands 2. And I've played a few other games with it, but that's mainly what I'm going to be showing you footage from. I started off by not reading the forums and just using the default settings, which is a 1K stream for streaming. Of course, depending on your bandwidth, if you're actually streaming, you'll need to figure out what you need it to be streamed at. I've since optimized the settings for capturing locally, so I get a much better quality capture. Here's some streaming from Neverwinter. This is a little storyline instance towards the beginning. I'm like level 5, 7 or whatever it is on there. As you can tell, I like to look around at everything. Follow the little trail. This is some of the fights in this particular instance. This is at 1K. Have it downsampling to 1280/720 during the streaming process from 1920 1080. You can take a look. This is at 1K, like I said. And although not the greatest, it's not horrible. This would be like if you were going to stream out to a service and you didn't have a whole lot of bandwidth. This is kind of what you would be seeing. This is some more footage from Neverwinter. This is the flea bottom guy, rat thing. And this is kind of a final boss fight. One of the little solo story instances in Neverwinter. This is 1920 1080 scaled down to 1280/720 again, but at a higher bitrate. This is 5K bitrate. The scale down is happening during the recording of the file. So, take a look at that. This next bit is some footage from Borderlands 2. I have tweaked the settings a little bit more. I added an advanced setting in that you can learn about in the forum for making sure the output is set to the best quality. Basically setting CRF to 18 per the suggestion from one of the forum posts. Take a look at this. This is still 5K, 1920 1080 scaled down to 1280 720. Keep in mind when I say 5K, I'm talking about the encoding bitrate, not file size or something. So. Alright, let's take a look at some PlanetSide. I did this. Now keep in mind, all this footage is at 30 frames in OBS. You can do it higher frame rate. I'm just testing it out at 30. Obviously, it'll look smoother if you did it at higher frame rate. So this is PlanetSide. I've kind of landed on the wrong side of the fight here. So let me scoot around the building. Doing my little engineer. I haven't played in a while, so I'm pretty low level. So this right here, this was pretty cool. So that thing blew up the transport, and then one of the new squad vehicles comes flying by here in a minute. Almost takes my dumb butt out. So here you go. So like I said, this is OBS, Open Broadcaster software. It's pretty cool. I've only messed with it for a few hours, plus the time it took me to make all this. I'd go check it out and see what you think.